The following theory contains major spoilers for the plot of Pokémon Sun and Moon. If you have not played through the entire story of either game, please complete the game before watching this video to avoid spoilers. As for everyone else, let's talk Ultra Beasts. Think back to when they were first revealed and how much speculation was swirling around exactly what they were and what role they were going to play in the plot of Sun and Moon. One of the biggest mysteries about the Ultra Beasts was the fact that some of them seemed to closely resemble some key human characters in the games. And perhaps the most striking similarity was between UB-01 and Lillie. Popular speculation was that these human characters were actually Ultra Beasts in disguise, or that the Ultra Beasts were mimicking the appearances of the first people they saw in Alola. Now that the games are out, we can revisit these ideas and see that they weren't really correct, at least not the part about the Ultra Beasts actually being these human characters. The possibility still remains that the Ultra Beasts are Pokemon-like counterparts of these characters, but we still don't have enough information to explore that idea. In reality, the main story of Sun and Moon didn't really do much to explain the Ultra Beasts' existence, which was a bit of a letdown for those of us who want to analyze the lore behind them. But the story of Sun and Moon nevertheless gives us some compelling insight into Lillie and Amine and their connection to the Ultra Beasts. Even before the player officially learns that Lillie and Gladion are Amine's children, their dialogue gives us some hints at their family's dysfunctionality. Starting with Lillie commenting on how nice the player's mother is when she first meets her. Then as the story progresses, we hear more comments from both Lillie and Gladion about how their mother was very controlling, especially about the way that her children dressed. In fact, the moment that Lillie finally declares herself free from Amine is the moment that she appears in her new outfit, what Lillie dubs her Z-powered form. Since Amine obviously tried to control everything about her children down to the way they dress, can we say that Amine purposely dressed Lillie to look like UB-01? I think that's a plausible hypothesis. But what's interesting is that we also know that Amine wasn't always such a control freak. When the player goes to Exeggutor Island with Lillie, she tells you a story from when she was little. Her mother saw her dancing outside in the rain and ran out after her, but rather than reprimanding her, she danced with her. This doesn't sound anything like the Amine we meet in the game, and Lillie herself says that she changed when she became obsessed with the Ultra Beasts. And in the post-game, we get to find out how that happened. When you visit the Aether Paradise after beating the Elite Four, you can find Gladion in the conservation area. There he will tell you that Amine's husband was the one who first discovered the existence of the Ultra Beasts, and disappeared while trying to connect to an Ultra Wormhole. What he left behind was Cosmog and his research papers about UB-01, Nihilego. So Amine's obsession with the Ultra Beasts came from her desire to be reunited with her husband again. And it makes sense that she would take particular interest with Nihilego, since it was the Ultra Beast that her husband had left behind research on. But wait, there's more. During this same visit to Aether Paradise, Wick will read us some detailed notes about UB-01. Quote, UB-01, codename Symbiont, properly known as Nihilego. There have been sightings reported of this beast in Alola's past. Its most distinctive feature is its parasitic capability. When Nihilego latches onto a host, it does not manipulate its actions directly. Rather, it awakens the host's own capabilities and boosts them to an extreme extent in order to protect itself. It injects the host with a sort of neurotoxin to achieve this effect. This neurotoxin of Nihilego's is incredibly stimulating and inspires feelings of extreme excitement and a lack of inhibition in its host. In other words, anything or anyone that Nihilego latches onto will have its native skills forcibly activated to their fullest extent, and will then act as it naturally desires to. Being boosted to the extreme, and inspiring extreme excitement and a lack of inhibition. Could Amine have been under the influence of Nihilego the whole time? We clearly see the effects of Nihilego's neurotoxin when Amine merges with one in Ultra Space, but her obsessive behavior began long before that. Amine is present the first time we see Nihilego appear in the game, but it was never seen latching on to anything, including Amine. Perhaps we could speculate that Nihilego doesn't have to physically make contact with the host to infect it. But if that were the case, then we would expect Hau, Wick, and the player character to be affected as well, since they were all present when Nihilego appears. The player character even battles with it briefly. In that case, if we are going to say that Amine has already been influenced by Nihilego's neurotoxin, we would have to believe that some other incident happened prior to the events of the game, in which Amine made physical contact with Nihilego. There is, in fact, one occasion we can point to as the potential incident, and that is the event which led to the disappearance of Lucamine's husband. We don't know for a fact that Lucamine was present during this incident, but we do know that her husband was trying to connect with an Ultra Wormhole, and it seems that every other time an Ultra Wormhole has been seen to appear, at least one Ultra Beast has also appeared. It's quite possible that Nihilego itself could have made an appearance while Lucamine's husband was experimenting with the Ultra Wormhole. And while granted, this next part is pure speculation, what if Lucamine was working by his side at the time? What if, when Nihilego appeared, it saw Lucamine and latched onto her as a host? And what if Lucamine's husband, seeing her in danger, confronted the Ultra Beast, somehow fighting it back and forcing it back through the Ultra Wormhole? But in the process, he too would have been sucked through the portal, leaving behind Lucamine, physically intact, but emotionally scarred from her husband's disappearance, and with Nihilego's neurotoxin beginning to course through her veins. This story is pure conjecture, but it lines up very well with the timing of events as we learn them in the game, and it would fill in the blanks to explain Lucamine's behavior pretty nicely. It's understandable that Lucamine would obsess over the Ultra Beasts and Ultra Wormholes in an attempt to find her lost husband. But why does she also appear to have an extreme fondness for the Ultra Beasts, when they are indirectly, or possibly directly, responsible for her husband's disappearance? The answer could lie in Nihilego's neurotoxin. As the head of the Aether Foundation, Lucamine's stated goal is to care for all Pokémon. Her natural instinct is to nurture, whether the target of her affection wants it or not. Nihilego's neurotoxin causes a host behavior to be amplified to the extreme. So, if Lucamine came under the influence of this neurotoxin, this nurturing instinct would be warped into a mad obsession, to love and mother not just Pokémon in her dimension, but to cross into other dimensions and seek out the Pokémon there, the Ultra Beasts. And we can see it over the course of the game through her dialogue. She considers Nihilego to be something akin to perfection, or at least the perfect object for her affection. Now take this motherly instinct and apply it to her children, and we can see how Lillie and Gladion became subject to Lucamine's smothering, controlling behavior, dictating everything from how they act to how they dress. And if Lucamine is so obsessed with Nihilego and sees it as such a perfect specimen, we might expect her to express this obsession in other ways as well, such as the clothes she chooses for Lillie. Then she can live out her desire to possess Nihilego through her own daughter. And that's quite a twisted thought. Okay guys, what do you think? I personally think that this is the best explanation for why Lillie and UB-01 seem to look alike, because it doesn't seem like the Ultra Beasts have any other relation to the human characters we see in the game, at least not in any way that's directly explained. Of course, there's still more speculation to be had on why some of the other Ultra Beasts resemble some of the other human characters in the game, but that's material for a different theory altogether. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like, and don't forget to leave a comment letting me know your thoughts on the subject. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.